Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Dominique, aka Mr. Cannon Thunder. Oh, here we go, here we go. They calling me in the game, guys. They calling me in the game. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh. Who am I again? Oh, wait. Oh yeah, I know. I'm Kid Thunder. Coming back with you guys again for another video. Alright YouTube, so what I'm gonna do today, as you guys can see from the title, is I'm gonna answer some Q&As. I put it up on Snapchat the other night and I was like, hey, I'm gonna shoot a Q&A video, like I'm doing right here. And I'm gonna answer, questions that I haven't answered. I do know there's comments, emails, and things I need to get back to, but I just got done graduating from BOLC, and so I will get to that later. So anyway, let me start with the first question. I'm not gonna give out any names. I don't know how people would feel about me giving out their Snapchat names. I don't think people want hundreds of people following them on Snapchat. Either way, first question is, which is a better branch to join, Army or Marines? He says that's an opinionated question. Of course, you know what I'm repping, right? Definitely the Army. The Army. That's going to be a better branch in my opinion. I'm only looking at it from the officer side. When you look at it from the enlisted, it's a totally different view because when you're enlisted you have MOSs, and when you're an officer you have branches. And you have a big, huge variety to look at when you're enlisted versus when you're an officer, you only have specific things. And when I was looking at it, believe it or not, I had the Marines planning to join, to be a Marine officer. And I used to have it posted all over my Instagram and stuff. The biggest determining factors, I'm not gonna get into all these determining factors, the biggest determining factor was that Marines didn't have enough jobs that transferred out into the civilian world as an officer. Second question, he said re-enlist, but it's actually continue on with my commission. As an Army officer, the only time I have a contract is during my initial phase. So I have a really short contract, it's 3 years, and then after that, officers aren't on contracts. So, and it's not re-enlist, I guess would be continue my commission. To Germany, once I get over to my next PCS, I'm gonna take a look. If I like it, I'll probably stay in, but 9 times out of 10, yes, I'm gonna try and do 20 or 30 years. Okay, the next question is, what are your plans after the Army if you plan on getting out, and what was your college major? All right, so what are my plans after the Army? I hope to be working on I hope that, one of my dreams is to have a talk show, and it'll probably be late nights with Lathan Hartwell. So maybe one of my goals is to have a talk show. And what was my college major? It was cytotechnology. I'm gonna spell it out for you guys right there. I was a scientist that diagnosed the diseases and abnormalities in cells, specifically cancer. I was really good at respiratory and gynecological problems. Next question is, what are my plans for the future, life goals? Like I said, life goals, one day have a talk show called Late Nights with Lathan Hartwell, and then life goals, late nights with Lathan Hartwell, and then run my next company or my next business, which I'll be starting up soon. Next question is, it's a vague question, but how do you stand out the best during OCS? Maybe more insight into which branches are currently the most competitive, or which branches have the greatest need for officers to be filled in the Army. How to stand out at OCS, you get good spot reports by singing cadence. I saw that all the time. Branches are the most competitive at OCS. I mean, you already know, you can already guess. It's going to be MI, infantry, are going to be the most competitive branches to get. At least back in my day when I went, because that was a long time ago, 50 years ago. What was an experience you had since you joined the Army that made you feel, fuck yeah, this was definitely the right path for me? That moment, I'm trying to tell you guys, that moment of the shark attack during basic training. I mean, before I joined the Army, I could have been, I was not as tough as I am now. Right now, you could tell me to put, 50 pounds on my back and go do 50 miles and I'd be like, Roger, Sergeant, let's go. Because of course I'd bring my platoon sergeant with me. Okay, the Army's changing me for better. It's toughening me up. It's getting rid of Quilted Northern Dominique, Charmin Ultra Soft Dominique. I really felt like I was changing. I was like, yep, this is, I gotta say it with my chest. Why did I want to join the military? It's a great question to follow up. I joined the military because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and grow, be a better person. I picked the Army because this was the hardest branch for me. It was the hardest branch for me to do that made the most sense. And I was gonna struggle through it. And without struggle, there is no growth. That's why I picked the Army. If I wanted something easier and more soft and more my alley, I'd have picked the Air Force. What should we know before basic? PT-wise as well as classroom, like values, ranks, and all that. How was basic training? What's the hardest thing about basic? Can you give any pointers or advice? Or pointers on anything? Well, what should you know before basic? I didn't know anything. I didn't even know the ranks. I didn't even know they yelled at you at basic training. So if you don't know anything, you're fine, you know. I guess to put you ahead of the game, some people failed the rank tests. You know, E1, E2, E3, your warrants, and your officers. People didn't know that. Like, they failed, so they had to, like, retake it a couple times. Don't really understand that. Basic training, like I said, it sucked for me. The hardest thing about basic training for me was dealing with everybody that was 21 and under, because the maturity level, and then giving you pointers on basic. I probably have a million pointers. But the biggest thing I can say real quick in this video is keep your end goals in mind, keep your why in mind while you're there, and that will propel you to the end. Next question is, why are you so motivated? What motivates me is that I have something to prove. I literally have something to prove. You have absolutely no clue how many people want me to fail. I have an uncanny amount of people that want me to fail, that don't believe I'm anything, that just call me shit, that were shit talking me. And you know, so every day, I get up and I do this stuff that I'm not particularly in love with because I want to be a better person, and I have a kind of like a chip on my shoulder. I have something to do. I prove to myself